India's biggest survey about a uniform code, about equality, not so much about a law per se. Over 8,000 Muslim women across 25 states and union territories have been asked about the nitty-gritties that a uniform code could encompass. 7 such key questions were asked in this survey. They did not make any mention of a proposed UCC bill or any form of a law that it could come in. It was strictly limited to the themes that a uniform code is likely to cover. The survey participants included women aged 18 to 65 plus. Now, if you remember, the Law Commission has sought suggestions, objections from all stakeholders for a period of 1 month as far as a uniform civil code goes. That deadline ends on the 13th. But what exactly do India's Muslim women think? On this edition of Nation at 5, I'll take you through 2 of those questions. Let's first put across the first question that we want to put for you as far as a common law goes. We asked the surveyors what exactly were their views as far as a common law was concerned, be it for marriage, for divorce, for adoption or inheritance. Look at the numbers that are coming out now. 67% say yes, there should be a common law as far as all of this goes. Irrespective of gender, irrespective of religion, a common law is what is required. 25% say no, 7.4% say we don't know or we can't say. That is as far as a common code goes. We're not talking about a uniform civil code as a law. We're talking about a common code, equality, level playing field for all those stakeholders that are involved. Now let's take a look at what exactly the numbers are as far as the support for this particular uniform law is concerned. As far as the surveyors go, between 18 to 44 years, 69% said yes, there should be a common law. Beyond 44 years to 65 plus, the women that we surveyed, they said also in favor of a uniform law. The number is a little lower though, that is at 60%. Still over the 50% mark, more than half of the 8,000 women that we spoke to had to say that they want a uniform code, they want equality. Empowerment is what we're looking at, is what these women told us. Joining me on this broadcast is Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar. Ambar Zaidi, social activist, also joins me. And let me get you started by asking Ambar Zaidi this. Ambar Zaidi has spoken to at least 8,000 or over 8,000 women. Most of them say, yes, we want equality. It's high time that empowerment conversation takes place and takes place freely. That's what this survey goes on to show.
Absolutely, and what you were discussing the topic, the recent survey conducted by Network 18, the largest survey, I must say, till now exclusively on uniform civil code, and where over 8,000 Muslim women participated, residing in different, almost 25 different states and union territories across the country. And the result is overwhelming, as the purpose of this survey was to understand that what is their opinion on uniform civil code is expected to address, focusing solely that those, not just necessarily the bill, rather than the topic and the issue, what is being discussed, and are they really understanding what is the uniform civil code? That was the purpose. And uniform civil code will mean one law and will be applicable across the union territory of India, and all citizens, irrespective of the sexual orientation, their religion, their gender, it will be applicable to all. And the law will cover the personal matters like marriage, divorce, adoption, inheritance, and etc., etc. And what is more interesting, that when UCC was in talks, Muslim organizations, they were questioning that, and they were in fact condemning that it will affect all the religions in terms of education, education qualification. We are discussing these women who participated in debates. Most of the women, they were graduate, and they are all educated women who are supporting.
Yes.
And this is, I think, a good survey, and the response is overwhelming, and I am very happy to see this response. At least women who are educated, they are understanding what is uniform civil code. Earlier, these organizations who are supposedly the self-proclaimed flag bearer of the Muslim community and human right and all those organizations were claiming that everybody is against uniform civil code and nobody wants uniform civil code in India.
Yes.
The women of this country, they themselves are coming out and supporting uniform civil code, at least not as they'll be, because we don't have the draft ready in front of us, and we can't discuss the draft because
that wasn't a part of the survey either. We weren't exactly looking at a bill or a law that could come in. That's not the purview of this entire survey. The purview of this entire survey was to look at the themes that a UCC law could perhaps look at. We're looking at equality, Atikur Rahman, and that's really the point. That the point that comes out of all of this, that yes, we know there is no clarity as far as the UCC goes. There are questions that are being raised politically as to what really the intent of the government is. But we're not getting into that. We're talking about equality. We're talking about empowerment. What do you then think of these kind of results where women are coming out and overwhelmingly saying that yes, there should be parity? That's all that we want.
So, Shivani, the question is, since when these women are waiting for justice, for equality, the main political party, which is now the ruling party since the last 9 years, they had promised the women of India in 1986 in their manifesto that they will be empowering them by the Uniform Civil Code. A mighty government of Vajpayee ji came to power for 5 long years, not a word on it. Now this present government is about to complete 10 years. Not a single word from the Prime Minister. Only 8 days back in a party meeting, he came up with the idea of a uniform civil code. So what we are saying is, we are firing in the air in the absence of a draft resolution which the governments of the BJP is unable to present on any of the state legislatures.
Which is why when I asked you the question, that's exactly what I said. We're not discussing a UCC or we're not discussing the law at all. We're talking about the sentiment of the community. Can you dismiss that altogether? And as far as you say, the BJP has been making these tall promises for decades together, but when Triple Talaq bill came up and the ban on Triple Talaq bill came up, when that went to court, we had several from within the community who objected, saying that you can't encroach upon our personal laws.
Lakhs Muslims gathered at India Gate and they were against the Supreme Court judgment, which was in favor of...
Yes, Mr. Rahman, go ahead. Shivani. Yes, Mr. Rahman, this is Poonam here, but go ahead.
Shivani, say, Amber tried to understand, how can you expect a community or communities which are undoubtedly patriarchal in their approach and misogynist in their approach to come out in favor of these bills? In favor of these bills, the Supreme Court has opined that in the name of scriptures, the religious leaders have usurped the powers of the women.
All right, I have a question.
So what are we talking about?
Can I ask you a question? I have a question for you.
Sure.
See, we all are citizens of this country, and equal right has been ensured by Constitution of this country under Article 40. And it is a state's responsibility to ensure the right of a citizen of the country. When a country or a state or Supreme Court implements or asks the governments to do something on Uniform Civil Code, and now they are the current government, they are willing to do something on Uniform Civil Code. And when they say, and in fact, 22nd Law Commission has been formed and they've asked for the suggestion. Now people are saying that BJP is doing for mayor politics and they're questioning the timing and everything. Why? What do you want? You want the government to bring Uniform Civil Code, or you are against or for it? Because when you say that, how can you expect the change or these kind of reforms within the community? Why can't we expect? Because these organizations, these people, they declare themselves the flag bearer of the Muslim community and Islam. When we talk about justice and gender equality, why can't we just say that at least we should start from accepting that there is a gender disparity? There are laws and provision under Muslim personal law that those are subjugated towards women, and we can't simply justify subjugation under the name of this cultural or these norm or under religion. We can't justify subjugation or gender disparity at any cost.
Amber, let me expose the parliament as a whole and the BJP in particular. The parliament since the past 30 years. Now please allow me to explain.
Okay, all right,
please.
make your point.
The Parliament of India since the past 30 years, Shivani, they haven't given the women their right to 33% reservation.
Oh
the
my God!
same
Let's start
parliament
from,
every now
start
and
from
then.
equal rights. You want reservation in parliament and politics. You don't want to discuss the basic right to equal